Okay, so new door dropped. Today I have this new record, which is the smallest 1 by 2.55 open and 0.25 closing hipster door. Yeah, closes like this, and opens like this. Yeah, pretty insane for this size and the speed. Um, but yeah, I you know I wouldn't know why you would want to build this in survival. I feel like this video would be like more useful if you were actually trying to learn zero tick redstone doors or like zero tick stuff in general, or if you just want to, n- know what I did, I guess, and try to improve. But yeah, if you want to build this in survival and kind of want a case for it, I guess you can have like, you know, some fence and then this blocks it or something and then retracts into the floor like this. Um, I also found out that you can have glass here and it's like semi-seamless with the floor. And then when you close it, it's like right on top of here. Yeah, I don't know why you would want this, but um, yeah, it works. Yeah, I've prepared a little capture and playback here, so you can actually see the layout. And I feel like that's yeah, layouts are a huge factor, right? Um, and yeah, I really I really like this layout, to be honest. It's really cool. Um, all right, closes like so. So these just push up. Then on the opening, we want to retract this and push these up so that this can be zero ticked in like so. And I can pull back down. Then we have the seamless here and the less zero tick for this. Um, yeah, pretty basic, I would say. Um, but yeah, there are some tricky things, right? So if we are up here, right? Um, a lot of these are extended. So, um, you know, uh, we want to push these up so and retract all of those. And then yeah, first of all, we need to zero tick this, and then we have the chain on top of here like so. Um, but it's like right on level with the floor, so yeah, you kind of have to be careful with how you want to do your inputs, right? Yeah, and second thing is we have this layout allows us to only have a two chain. Um, some other layouts have like much longer chains, even like 4 chains or 5 chains. So we only need 2 chain zero ticks, which is yeah, the huge advantage this layout gives us. Then, 6 game ticks we grab these. Then at 9 we grab this, and then we have the second chain of the layout, which is this zero tick for this, and then this grabbing back, and finally this pushing over again, right? And then this grabbing down and this pushing this back again, which also means that you know these two blocks here change place every time. So if I would place a block here, right? Now it's like in the floor, right? Now it's gone, and now it's on the bottom of this. Yeah, so that's the only thing to kind of keep in mind, I guess. All right, yeah, let's start with the door, I guess, or let's start with the materials. So this is all the stuff you will need, and the white concrete is just for the floor, so you should already have that in place, I guess. So really only everything else here. And in theory, you only need one rail, but you need two for the setup. So yeah, keep in mind that you need two either powered rails or activator rails here. These ones. Um, yeah, the rest should be pretty self-explanatory. Um, the leaves and logs can be whatever leaf and whatever log. Um, and the brick wall can also be glass pane. It doesn't need to have to observe anything on that's happening on top of it. So yeah, that also works, I guess. Yeah, let's get into it. So you know, um, depending on what side you're looking at, there's like a longer side which is 6 wide, and you have, if you have your hallway or what you want like this, then always been built from the shorter side, because if you have, you know, I don't know, if you want this to close like so, right? This won't work because the blocks here will get pushed up on the opening. So you would have to have this like right here, right? And then no blocks would be pushed up. So just keep this in mind. And then on the third block here, this is where our door will be. And yeah, on this block. So these blocks basically need to be the actual door blocks that you want to use. And then from this we have a sticky piston facing up, normal piston facing into here, then double at the bottom here, then 3 pistons like so, 1 piston facing into this one, and then another one facing up. And yeah, on this side, piston facing up and a piston facing into this. And on this side we have the return, which is just a normal piston like so. Okay, and yeah, let's actually remove all of the blocks that we don't really need. But I will keep these two, because they will get pushed up and we need to pull them back down, so they are kind of in action, right? And yeah, let's start with the input line. So we want to power this piston, and this one is up here. So input block will be this one right here, then an observer facing to the right, and then a slab, and then a target block right here. And then put dust on all of these, and then also place the target block right here. And yeah, this is where your input will be. And this is also the entire closing done. So yeah, let's close it like this. And we also have the first move of opening, which is these two retracting. So that's great, I guess. Pretty easy setup, right? Okay, so now we are here for the opening. And for the opening, we first need some setups. So to zero tick this here, right? Because when we're looking at this, if we would power this with like a observer, right? From at 2 game ticks, so 2 to 4, this could, if you remove this, right? This could zero tick this location, but this piston right here would get butted from, the observer and would re-extend. So we can't have that, right? So we need, I mean, we still need an observer here with a solid block, but we want to power it at 3 game ticks. And we want a piston to, be able to push it away. And if you power this at 3 game ticks, it will actually happen after, this and this have finished their retraction and all the updates, so this won't, push over. And yeah, same thing for this. We want to, power this piston when it's up here for the first zero tick of the chain, and for that we also have a observer right here and a sticky piston. And then yeah, solid block up here. And yeah, that's pretty much the hardest, hardest setups right here right now. But we also want to zero tick, this piston from this block because we don't have any other inputs. So if we would just have this do a 3 game tick pulse, it would be too slow. So we need to actually push it back here and then retract this again with enough bed to make it zero tick. And that's actually, the hardest part about the store, right? That's what actually did like the most, the goofiest thing to wire. But yeah, so first of all, we want these two to, just push up really, and we use, we just use a uncutter circuit for this. So, yeah, the sticky piston with a normal block or solid block here, and then a sticky piston with a redstone block right here. Then a block down here with a repeater. Actually, is it a block? Yeah. All right. a block right here, and then we will go up to a node block right here, like so, and then to actually power this piston right here, we have another solid block right here, and it's just gets these two, and then we also wanted to power this piston, and this is going to be a observer into this. Okay, so now we should see this, and also when you open this, these get pushed up, and this gets pushed in, and it gets pushed in right because of this getting powered from the dust line at 2 gantics. But if we would just power this at 2 when it because it arrives at 2, it will be blocked from this. But since we don't 2-tick this up as well, but instead we push this up with more block event delay than these two have retracting. This actually updates this to extend, which is really nice because now we only need an update here at 3 and with no block event delay to make the 0-tick. And we will get the update from a log right here and a leaf, like so. Okay, so now we have this, we have this, and a 0-tick here. Okay, so that's great. Next up, we want to get the free game ticks for this, and for that we will have a piston right here, a log, and then some leaves, like so. And then we will just connect this with the target block right here. So this will push off over instantly. And yeah, then we'll just track back, I guess. And also another nice thing is that actually, never mind. That comes later. I was getting ahead of myself. So we have this. Now this should also power at 3 gantics, like so. Okay, now we get to the fun part, which is let me get over here and show this really quick. So for the closing, it's pretty simple. But on this one, we want this to kind of grab this at 3 gantics. Because this needs to be 0-ticked here at 6 gantics, so we need to grab it at 3, and last is at 9. So yeah, we need this to depower at 3 gantics somehow, which is pretty hard to do actually. I mean, it wasn't that hard, but still, it's like was kind of trash to do. So no block here, and then we have another redstone block right here, and let's put dust on top. So this gets redirected at 3 gantics. Gets this piston on top of this does pulls at 3 and pulls down at 3 gantics, and yeah, does that reliably because we have this right here, which turns off updates after this redstone block right here. Okay, so we have this. Now we have this, all of this. Then this grip pushes grabs down 3 gantics. But we still need this for to update this to push away for the second 0-tick at 3 gantics. So that's a weird setup. So we need 4 block event delay to this on top of here, right? Because this powers, this pushes over, so this arrives here at 2, with 2 block event delay, powers at 3. So we need minimum of 4 block eventually to make it 0 tick. Okay, so that's where this goofy setup comes in, right? Like so, and like so. And then we have a solid block right here. And then we also have a wall, which goes here with the observer facing into the ground right here. So what happens is, closing this extends, connects to this wall, and this extends, and this is also hooked up to the same block, which has the redirect. And so this updates the node block. I'm pretty sure about that. However, this just turns off at 3 game ticks from this right here, and this powers at 2. Buds powers this, but this doesn't get an update, and this will also power at 2. Starting to extend, and at 3 this will remove this block from this, updating this, and this extending updates this, so we have a 4 block event delay chain to this, and that does our 0 tick. Yeah, we can look at that as well. Goes over 0 ticks right here. All right. Okay, now that's pretty cool. So let's continue with this. So we want this to pull back at 6 game ticks, and for that we just have another observer to this. So from this node block, this gets powered instantly from this uncutting thing. Then this is at 2 to 4. This is 4 to 6. Retracts this, but yeah, it doesn't power this line because the dust can't go down. And it also updates this here at 4 game ticks, so that it actually spits out the block when it's powered at and it's updated at 3. And it's important because we want to use this to push back so that this powers again at 9. So we have this, and then we have that, this, and this grabs as well. Okay. So now we want this 0 tick for this at 6 game ticks, and for that we will use a really basic 0 tick gen right here. Just observer, place a block here, so you don't have to place it later, because if you have the dust here still, it will mess up the entire door. So yeah, just place this block here. 2 blocks up, 1 updater right here, because this turns off at 2, pushes down, this powers at 6, and then does a 0 tick into this, and then we also use it for this block, which is a piston, which is for this basically, which is getting pushed up here, up to here. And yeah, we also connect it to this. All right, and yeah, we kind of have this target block spam here. I know this will, the reason for this will be explained later. All right, so we have all of this. Now we have this. This 0 ticks over, gets grabbed down from the 0 tick, right? All right, and it's like almost entire. It's like almost the entire thing done, right? And it's pretty cool. So we just need a pseudo for this, or any 0 tick, because we will definitely not use a pseudo. And this entire thing, but we have like infinite space on this side, right? It's like, yeah. Okay. So for this 0 tick, we will 0 tick an observer up to here, because we can't power this line again. So 0 ticks up, this up to here. And we will grab it back through this, which will power through this block. That was when this powers from 8 to 10. This also powers from 8 to 10, so we only need an update for this at 9 game ticks. And the update for this will come from, let's break some, let me break some bottom here. So this, gets the update to turn off, that is depowered at 3 game ticks. This will do 5 to 7, this will 7 to 9, this does 9 to 11, I guess. And that's perfect, right? Updates this. Alright, and now we should see the last 0 tick for this. Alright. That is really cool, I guess. So, we have all of this, all of this, all of this, and all of this. Alright. So yeah, let's get the final retraction for this, and then we can get the reset in for this as well. So, we have this, or this 0 ticks. And now we just need to power this one again to pull this one down. And yeah, it's also really simple, just one observer right here. Okay, so we follow this, and we get this going over, this pulling down, and then this last 0 tick, and also this, which is going down. And finally, we want this to power at 12. So this powers at 8. This powers if this powers, yeah, 6. This powers at 8. This powers 10 through 12, I guess. Yeah, this would do 8 then, yeah. And then now this is 12 through 14. Alright. Like this, and then this, 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 and this, and now this goes over. Like so. And that's like kind of the whole double piston extender done. Like that. Yeah, and now we just need we need this to push over, and we want this to push over, so that it turns off at 6 game ticks. So this pushes over at 4. Should be very doable. But the thing is, since this is powered, we can't just power it like 4 through 6 because this block actually won't update this, which is yeah, really stupid. But instead we will actually update this at 5 game ticks, and make it do a 1 tick pulse. But yeah, whatever. Another target right here into a piston with an observer like so. So this will do 0 to 2. So this does 4 to 6. So we have the power already, and now we just need the update. And this is where our 2 rails come in. 1 node block right here, 2 observers from this leaf right here, and then remove this piston for a second and place 2 rails on top of this, and lastly break this top rail so that this is angled so that it actually updates this. Okay, and now this should go back over. Yep, so we have this. Now on this side we can see updates 3 antics, and now this also pushes back, and now this powers 8 through 8 to 10, which is perfect, right? And this can't push, because this blocks it. All right. Now we want to 0 tick this at 9 game ticks, and then we need the entire chain for this, because we will re-extend this to make this grab back again. Okay, but first the 0 tick for this. This does 2 to 4. This does 4 to 6, which yeah, doesn't help us really. But it actually does. So I think it both, yeah. Okay, so we have this setup here, and this gets butted from 4 to 6, and we want it to power at 5. So only thing we need to do is update this at 5 game ticks, and the update will come from a node block right here, piston with an observer like so. And later this is going to be sped out again, so it's right here. Actually it's up on the when it's closed, opened, sorry. But it's going to be sped out again, so yeah, just have it here. And yeah, since this retracts at 3, this will do 5 to 7, and updating this at 5, which will make this power at 9. Alright, now we have this, and now we have this, this grabbing, I don't know, this 0 tick, and it also does a 1 game tick pulse, but it's not good enough. Okay, now we have like some space, but we really don't have like a lot of space for this, especially because we need like a lot of bed, because we normally usually 0 ticket like normal. But yeah, we've managed. The solution is actually quite beautiful. So from this, we'll have a slab here with a repeater right here into a block, and it's also what's going to reset this to make it spit out. And now from this, we have a normal piston updating a piston with the redstone block. So this will do 0 to 2 as well, but since it gets updated with like one more block event delay, this will always retract, and this won't power. Right, but it's going to be in place, and we will just remove it again, because this will, if it does 2 to if it does 0 to 2, it will do 5, re-extend to 5. We'll update this at 9 game ticks. I guess should be, I mean, maybe it's 8. But yeah, at least it works for this. So yeah, re-extends at 5. This does yeah, some timing to keep this on. And now we just want, since this is butted from 7 to 9, which is perfect, right? Perfect timing. We just need to update it, and the updater, in this space, because we need like, we have, what, 2 block event delay for this, so we need at least, I mean, we have 3, right? We have this, and then, this turning off is 3 game ticks. So this will start powering at 4, so we need minimum 5 block event delay, and we have like 1, 2, and 3. So we need 2 more. And yeah, really beautiful solution, which is just this. And this works because of, we have this powering this, which updates this as well. But at 9, this also powers when it's up here, butting this piston through, this block up here. So this will actually not turn off when the repeater turns off, but it will actually turn off, with like 3 block delay. Updating this at 4, this is 5, this is 6, so we have like more than enough block to remove this. And yeah, that's exactly what this does, and we don't get the last 0 tick from this. And yeah, that's a really, really cool setup I found for this, things on us back here. Let's grab it back. So, alright, so now we have the 0 tick here. So only thing missing is the reset for this. And yet reset for this is kind of tricky. So we have from this hopper observer into a repeater into an observer into a floor block right here. But on itself, it wouldn't work, and that's why we have this one right here. And this observer, you know, updates this at 12 game ticks to push over again. And it's, yeah, because it's like spams, and it spams at the correct timing, so it updates this, which is quite cool. And this also, because we recheck this back here, since this butts this one and gets updated by this, it, makes this grab back as well, which is really cool. So we get this, we get this, get this, we get this 0 tick, and now we also get the reset for this and the retraction for this. All right, beautiful. So, or not, um, I guess, something happened. Oh yeah, yeah, I missed one thing, and it's not done yet. I've missed this observer right here, which is pretty, um, pretty fucking important because, you know, it resets this log, because otherwise this wouldn't, update this observer at 3 ticks. So make sure you get an observer from this node block, and it's also the reason why I've placed it earlier, into this piston so that it retracts again and resets this, so that the door will actually open again. So this, now it should work. Alright, great. The door doesn't have 0 reset and is not spam proof. If you thought it'd be, it is not. Um, but yeah, really, really cool door. I think this is still beatable. I do not think this side is, really optimal. In any case, I've planned this to be 5 blocks high under the ground, right? So that I could fit, 0 tick repeaters because I thought I would need them, but I certainly did not. So I still feel like this is like very much not the smallest it could be. But we'll see. Maybe I will do another version of these. Maybe someone else will. Um, yeah. All right. And yeah, if you actually build this, just keep in mind that all of the solid blocks or the white concrete that is on here actually needs to be solid. The rest can be whatever block, right? Can be can be the same block. I mean, can be observers or node block, not node blocks or redstone blocks. I mean, it can't even be node blocks, right? Because it would update this. So no updaters here, I guess. So if you wanted to do copper bulbs here, also doesn't work because it's updates. Or here as well. Um, or next to any of these blocks. So all of this doesn't work. Okay. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. Maybe a few cool tricks, or just some inspiration. And I will see you in the next one.